Good evening. My name is Andrew Stewart. I am the ninth grade AP Human Geography teacher, which is the ninth grade social studies course. Thank you for attending my virtual open house session that we have here. I wish I could be there in person, but I am, as we speak, or as I speak, rather, sitting in a classroom at the University of Houston, so I cannot be there physically. So apologies, but hopefully this will be sufficient. And I didn't really want to necessarily get too deep into the weeds as far as the content of the course. I will definitely give a very brief overview of the content of the course, but more so some of the big shifts and changes that have happened in AP this year compared to previous years. Um, and just wanted to let you know that this is my email. Just wanted to let you know that if you have any questions or concerns about not only your students' performance in the class, but any AP related questions, you can direct those to myself, our AP coordinator, Ms. Harrison, or our principal, Ms. Guidry. I like to think we're all very communicative in that fashion. So my email is right here. Again, this class is an AP class, which is technically your student's first truly college level course. AP stands for Advanced Placement. And not only are there elevated GPA points associated with an AP class, but there is also the potential for college credit at the end of the year, which leads me to the first big change that we are seeing in AP this year. So with the budget cuts, not only in our districts, but across the entire state of Texas, one of said cuts are for the cost of the AP courses, or the AP tests, excuse me, that a student would take at the end of the course that would allow them to potentially gain their college credit. In the past, for those of you who have had students at Spring Early College previously, you are well aware that AP Human Geography and AP World History tests were at no cost to the parent or guardian. However, this year, the baseline cost for the AP test is $98, which is across the board, across the country, across the world, actually. And for students with free and reduced lunch, that cost is $20. Now, according to Superintendent Hinojosa in a recent meeting we had, the cost of the AP test would indeed be reimbursed if and when, I'll say when, the student passes their AP exam. So there is a way for that cost to be avoided, and that would be by passing the AP exam, which is obviously the goal for every single student, and I do truly believe that every single student is capable of doing that. And I'll talk about that a little bit in the coming slides. But about myself, I have been here at Early College for now my 7th year. And like I say, my primary goal is for every student to pass the AP Human Geography exam. Another change with the AP test this year is that they are fully online, which I view as a positive. Most students have had more experience with typing than handwriting up to this point, especially being the age they were in the age of the pandemic. They are very much familiar with technology and Chromebooks and how to use those and online STAR testing. So that's not novel to them. That's not new to them at all. And so I think that with the transition to the digital exam, that will help to improve their performance or give them a better chance of a higher performance on the AP exam. I think that the main takeaway from this course is to truly get a window into what college level material is. I love this class. I do genuinely enjoy teaching it. I genuinely am interested in the content. And so being able to share that with your students is fantastic to me. I'm very pleased to be in the position that I am in, and to be able to hopefully pass some of those interests onto them. Um, Now, there's going to be some math people that it may not be their thing, but that doesn't mean that they can't be successful, and that's the most important thing to me. I do genuinely think it's the most useful course they may ever take in high school. There's so much information that they can take with them into the future, how to think about a multitude of different situations, not only in the world but in their own lives, and thinking about logic and connective thinking. And that's really what AP is all about, is that higher level thinking, regardless of the content. People tend to call my class history class. And it's not a history class. It is very much a class about the present, and we talk a lot about we have a very diverse student body, and I think that's so fantastic. And I try to bring in, those countries of origin into the class, because there's something happening there. There's something happening everywhere. And I think that that's really important, not just for high school students to know, but for people to know. And so if I can get them to gain some interest in that while they're in high school, then I will view that as being successful. As far as the course description itself, I'm not going to read this word for word, but essentially it's about looking at where people live and why they live there and how they live there. And I just think that's so cool that a class like this is able to exist, just because those are things that I was interested in. And this class didn't exist when I was in high school. I would have loved it if I was in high school. But this is really the most important thing. And this class truly is equivalent to a one-semester introductory level college course, being able to draw upon factual knowledge they learned throughout the year and analyze different scenarios with that knowledge. That being said, it's really necessary, not so much right now, but definitely in the second semester, that students spend some independent study time on this class in order to be successful on the AP exam. It does take independent work, only because there's a finite amount of time that we have each day to cover material. And that's why homework is important. I try not to give too much of it, but if I do give it, it's important. There is no busy work in my class. That is not a term that exists in my world. Everything is necessary. And once we get into that spring semester and we get into the testing season, generally speaking, the AP Human Geography test is the last test that students take. And they're a little exhausted by testing at that point. But I try to impart on them the importance of doing well, because you're at Spring Early College Academy, and this is for college credit. Even though the cost of the test is obviously different, that shouldn't negate a student's desire to, take the test and perform well on it. Because again, if they do perform well on it, that cost is negated. Also, quick point, the ability for you to pay for the AP test is open. It is open right now. Again, I am not there, but on the campus, there is someone collecting money for the AP test. Your students were given a yellow invoice, a piece of paper, this past Friday, as an invoice for you to be able to fill out and pay for the AP test today. So that's fantastic. But just like any other class, students are expected to meet the requirements of the course. My grading policies are exactly the same as every other teacher. You have your daily work assignments and your major grade assignments. Most of our major grade assignments live in the College Board application. They can see their performance on any assessments, multiple choice, free response questions. I don't want to get too much into the weeds about the test itself. If you do have questions about how that test works and what it's actually like, I would absolutely love to let you know about that. I may even do a second video presentation to share with people who want to dive a little deeper into what that looks like. But as far as the concept, you can see that it's unlike other social studies courses, and I think in an awesome way. Thinking geographically, population and migration, culture, political patterns and processes, which is not about politics. It's actually more about political boundaries of countries, which sounds really boring, but it's actually really interesting. Agriculture, cities, and industrialization and development. So these are all things that are important to us, just existing in the world. And I have to stop myself because I'm gonna go off into tangents. But as far as final thoughts, if you want to get into the weeds, you can find the course and exam description on the College Board website. You can find out a lot more about what AP is from the College Board website. But again, you have the ability to pay for that AP test today, so I highly suggest you do so because we have to order those tests next month. We have to put in the order for the exams in October, which is quickly approaching. I can't believe it's already almost October. But again, please reach out to me if you have any concerns. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. I would have loved to talk to you in person. But if you want to talk to me in person, we can obviously set up a meeting. We can just do that through email. And thank you for paying attention to this much longer than anticipated slideshow. And I hope to speak with you soon. All right, thank you.